At Sacramento, 51 points for Austin Reeves.
From the gridiron to the airwaves, it's time for the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. Martin is a national championship fullback from the 1992 Alabama Crimson Tide, known for his bruising runs and devastating blocks now. He's bulldozing through sports talk with that same championship intensity. Joining him is his son, Xavier, a savant of football knowledge and statistical insight. He's your go-to source for the latest recruiting news and insider updates from across the Bama Nation. Together, they deliver fair and balanced analysis from an insider's perspective with real conversations with the callers, the listeners, and the online maniacs get in on the action by sharing their thoughts, their comment, and their reaction. Join our online maniacs at facebook.com/The Martin Houston Show. You're listening to Tide 100.9 and 1230 WTBC. It's time for kickoff, so buckle up and get ready, because this is the sound of Bama sports. The Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier is live. Roll Tide, roll!
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. It is a beautiful Monday morning. So glad to have you with us on this beautiful morning. Man, what a weekend. What a weekend. What a weekend. Got a couple special things we want to get to this morning. X is going to be out, so I'm inviting you to get in on the conversation, cover for him while he's out, so that you can get in on this thing this morning. But Bama with a big win over South Carolina, and man, I'm a little giddy. We got lots to get to, so we're gonna go ahead and get to that. We're gonna talk about those critical moments that Coach DeBoer has mentioned so many times. We've talked about. We're going to talk about, does this team, we hit it a little bit last week, does this team have more in the tank? Is there still more to come for the Alabama Crimson Tide football team? We're going to look at the value of a win like Saturday. I really want Coach DeBoer to get this team better prepared for road games against unranked teams. We probably have one more of those left, and that being the Auburn Tigers. Everything else is kind of home and motivation in and of itself, but we do most likely have one more of these on the road. So we need to be ready for that one. So did this game, put more gas or fuel in the tank? Of course, this is the Monday after a game, so we're going to talk good, bad, and ugly. We're going to talk players of the game. Also, with it being bye week, we'll go ahead and throw out some grades for this team and coaching staff. So you have some grades you'd like to give coaching staff, you'd like to give the offense, defense, special teams, et cetera. You give the coordinators, you can do all of that. This is not blasphemous, but in Jeremy we trust. Have to talk about that a little bit in terms of this coaching staff having such a trust in Jeremy Bernard. I'm going to share with you what I was communicating at the very moment that they came out. Do we have to? Is this a critical year for Alabama in terms of our coaching staff? If this continues, do we lose both of our coordinators? And if so, are we prepared for what's next? Is Sheridan ready to step right back in if we were to lose Grubb? All of those conversations. And is this a complete team? Is this a complete team? We'll have those conversations and more. Remember that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Just want to play a little bit right here to kick the show off.
We will play to a certain standard for the guys in here, for each other, for the guys in this room right now. We know who we're playing. We know what the stakes are. It's real simple.
Williams-Brice Stadium, Alabama at South Carolina.
4 quarters, I need you guys to think about the discipline it's going to take. All right, the discipline, the toughness. I want maturity, I need toughness, I want extreme violence.
I'm making sure you understand that. They stepping in the door and they saying, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to hit you in your mouth. That's what they saying.
Doesn't matter who we're playing, what we're doing, it just becomes about you being the best version of yourself. Make sure, right, that there's a physicality that cannot be matched.
What do you think about that pregame conversation as Alabama? I mean, we needed every one of those angles, maturity, 4 quarters, they're going to hit you in the mouth, keep playing, play for each other. All of that was on display for the Alabama Crimson Tide. So we want to invite you to jump in on the Empowerment, Leadership, and People Solutions Hotline. That's 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. Empowerment, Leadership, and People Solutions Hotline is open for business. And good morning to the Maniacs. I'm sure they're already getting some things going in, coming in this morning. Bam Bam 72, Hollywood the Barber, Tim Richardson, Rusty Dent, Jacob Powell. Let me give shout out. Jacob Powell up in South Carolina. Tell us how it's going, man. Tell us what's going on. He said, not the game we expected. Seems like South Carolina fixed their issues, huh? I just wonder, Jacob, what are they talking about up there? Because it almost felt like the Florida State game where this team put everything into playing Alabama. They had their homecoming. They brought the reunion of the team back that beat the number 1 Alabama team. So they put a lot into this game. Unfortunately, the rest of their season, they didn't do a good job of preparing for it. Teresa Pittner said, after recuperating from that game, then rejoicing game, a win is a win, RTR. Also, Bam Bam says a win is a win. Wasn't pretty, but I will take it. Got to be able to find a way to win games like this if you want to win championships. Absolutely. Can't disagree anymore with that. MHS 0407 says, Bama just went through a brutal schedule. This is a great week for a bye. It could not have come at a better time. It probably would have been better served a week before South Carolina. But nevertheless, I think this team grew through that. Samuel Pittner saying, what a win. I need a bye week after that one. What about you? You need a bye week as well as a Bama fan. Lance Larkin checking in from Houston, Texas. And welcome in. Bam Bam 72 saying, just like the FSU game, they will grow from this game. The biggest difference, of course, is we got the dub after this one. Lance Larkin saying road game unranked team is clouded or historical struggles with mobile quarterbacks, which predates the board. I agree with that in part. We haven't struggled with an unranked opponent anywhere under Saban. Saban's only lost to an unranked team, if I'm not mistaken. Well, Ole Miss could have been unranked. I'm not sure if Ole Miss was unranked, but Saban had won. He only lost like 4 games in his 17 years to unranked teams. So I wouldn't say it was a struggle. The dual mobile quarterback, nodding yes. Yes, that I would agree with that 100%, Lance, in terms of the mobile QB. I don't think it was the mobile QB. I thought overall this defense did great against the mobile QB. What are your thoughts? I think that if you had told me that the way that game played out, I would have told you that we would have won by, 3 scores. Offense just didn't get it going, in my opinion. Defense played lights out. That was one of the best defensive performances we've had. They didn't have 1 or 2 big runs, 1 or 2 big plays. So, but I know what he means about the quarterback. That position and style play tends to make our games close. MHS 0407 says he's pumped. So yeah, and I guess that's what he said. But he has to figure out how to get this team up for unranked road games. That is clearly something that this team lacks under him. So we're going to add Kenneth Smith III to the conversation here in a moment. But let's go ahead and get Pat on this side of the break. Pat, you're in on the Empowered Leadership and People Solutions hotline on the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. What's up, man?
Hey, good morning, Martin. But first off, Daniel Moore has that it on the easel now. Miracle in the chicken coop. Miracle in the chicken coop. That sell like hotcakes, guarantee you. But hey, you get it, they Gamecocks. Miracle.
I get it, Pat. That's a dad joke, Pat.
Yeah, touche, Pat. Hey, but man, that how come the offense couldn't have played the last 5 minutes or so of the ball game, 8 minutes of the ball game? How come the offense couldn't have played like that the rest of the ball game, Martin? We'd have beat them by 50. With so many drops.
Pat,
I'm listening. Go ahead.
The other team was playing. That's why. And
they were playing their defense. Hey, I got to hand it to the Pastor Payne. He said their defense was pretty good, and they was pretty good. But hey, they can't blame that loss on Mike Sheila. There ain't no way they can blame that loss on Mike Sheila. They got to blame that loss on
They can't really blame the loss on anybody. That was just they called her. We made a play at the end to get that ball back, and that's how we won the game. I mean, the play of the game, the play of the year right now, the play of the year for Alabama, the play of the year, not the game, not the week, not the month. The play of the year right now is Lawson stripping that ball, Keenan holding up the big quarterback, and Lawson stripping it. Without that play, we may be in a totally different mood today.
And Lawson having the smarts to poke Keenan and tell him the ball's underneath his big butt.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yep, that was pretty good.
Man.
It was several. Man. Pat, it was several smart plays in there. I'm gonna have to get the break here. I'm gonna let you get refund. I did. The pick six, where Jefferson holds up Deshaun Jones to keep him from falling, and then makes a block right at the goal line. Another big time maturity play, understanding the game. Go ahead.
Yep. But one last quick closing thought. I just say, that I prayed hard for for that win. And I realized God don't necessarily answer football prayers, but I went to church Sunday morning and it was packed out at because there's obviously plenty of Baptists there praying. But hey, you have a blessed one, sir.
Appreciate that. That's funny. I said Mike Shula almost bankrupted the churches in Tuscaloosa during his era because of the losses that we were experiencing at times. Folks didn't come to church on Sunday, so anyway, I'm just gonna move on from that. Jason Rutledge, congratulations! You had the closest score, 27-17. Jason Rutledge, he said, I was at the game, and the rejection from their fans was beautiful. No rush in the field. That was a little arrogant on their part, coming down on the field at that point, thinking that they were going to score. I thought that was pretty interesting in terms of what happened there. But that was Jason Rutledge who won and gets his name put into the hat for a chance to win the swag pack at the end of the year. That's Jason Rutledge, and of course he's at the game. What are your thoughts in terms of the rush in the field, the fans, the play of the game, the good, the bad, the ugly, more in the tank? I don't even know what to say about there was a guy, I'm gonna save it for the other side because I don't want to get into it. Coach talking about those critical moments. How did Alabama do in that? Did we just come off of a playoff run? I meant to bring this up last week, but I think it's a great conversation. Do you see the playoffs being any different than the 4-game stretch that Alabama went through prior to this? And does that mean that Alabama is the team that's most prepared for a playoff run with this year's version of the football team, not counting what Ohio State did last year? New team, new players. Is Bama ready? If they can get through these next few weeks, has Bama already shown they have what it takes to make a championship run? We'll keep those conversations going. We'll add Kenneth Smith to the conversation, and we'll add you to the conversation right here on the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, happy Monday morning to you. We're getting off to a treacherous start right now. 2059 closed down on the eastbound lanes between Skyland Boulevard and Buttermilk Road. Now, this is due to a serious accident. What you can do is hop on University Boulevard as an alternate. And also do watch out for this very heavy rain we do have in the area, and that's creating some pretty hazardous driving conditions. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by Aleve.
Only at Townsend Nissan, every new and select used vehicle includes a lifetime powertrain warranty. And right now, get up to $7,000 off new Nissans. Family owned, serving Tuscaloosa for over 50 years. Townsend Nissan, where peace of mind comes standard.
Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches and pains hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
Do you have timberland you don't know what to do with? Give North River Timber Company a call. Courtney White and his team of over 20 years experience offer timber harvesting, timber appraisals, comprehensive management plans for that special tract of land that you own. Courtney and his team can help you decide how to maximize your highest potential for your land. Timber is like money in the bank. See what your investment can do for you. Contact Courtney White at 205-242-5127. North River Timber CO at gmail.com. North River Timber Company.
Got timberland in West Alabama or East Mississippi? North River Timber Company has you covered. Since 2011, Courtney White, a registered forester, along with his expert team, have been managing timberland and harvesting timber across 4 West Alabama counties. They offer comprehensive timber management plans, reforestation services, and appraisals. Courtney White says timber is like money in the bank. Don't let your investment go unrealized. Call North River Timber Company today. Email them at northrivertimberco@gmail.com or call 205 205-242-5127.
High school football's a way of life in West Alabama, and each Friday night, the Town Square Media Tuscaloosa team will provide the most comprehensive coverage of the top area games. We're teaming up with WVUA. Join Tide 100.9, WTBC 1230 AM for the latest scores and updates throughout the evening, plus scores and game recaps online at TuscaloosaThread.com. Your West Alabama high school football score updates are presented by Bevel State Community College, Congressman Robert Adderholt, and Taco Casa.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They've moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com, or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Rain diminishing this morning, just a few isolated showers this afternoon and tonight, otherwise cloudy and cool. The high today 61, the low tonight 52. Tomorrow a mixture of clouds and sunshine, a few widely scattered showers, the high 64. I'm James Spann with the Alabama Weather Network on Tide 100.9. It's 55 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
It's again, different guys stepping up. It's different matchups that are going to cause problems for you. And each game is its own game. Each play is its own play. But when you hustle, when you give effort, you create your own breaks. We had some breaks that went against us, and we're probably at fault on some of those too, but we created some breaks of our own by hustling, by really preparing well and getting ourselves in the right spot to go, cut it loose.
All right, that's Coach DeBoer talking about making your own breaks, getting plays that you have to have in the moment. Alabama was able to do that without a doubt. Let's welcome in Kennington Smith III. Good morning, Kennington. How you doing, sir? All right, is Kennington there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Oh, man, Coach DeBoer talking about making breaks. And this team a year ago, that's a nail. That's a nail. So even though let me ask it this way. Assessment of that game, was it a combination of that's probably a pretty good South Carolina team. They were just missing one thing that's made them really bad, and that's their offensive line. And they seem to have played pretty well, and that defense is legit.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I think it is a mix of both. I mean, South Carolina does have good players at certain spots. They probably have two of the best players or best athletes at the two most important spots, right? Quarterback and on the line with Dylan Stewart. Their coach is under a lot of heat right now, so it's kind of like a perfect combination of a team trying to play for their coach, and then was playing their fifth straight game right before a bye. And they just had some miscues. But to your point, last year that game was an L, and probably not like a single-digit L either. Like, they get down 22-14, it might spiral out of control. Some of the games that we saw last year. I mean, seriously. Yeah. So Alabama is they're improving, and of course, like I guess against what they were last year, this team is drastically different. That's the most important thing, right? They're in a similar spot as last year, kind of everything in front of them. But this year, there's a lot more confidence. I feel like they're actually going to complete the job and make the playoffs than a year ago.
Yeah. Let me ask you, and I meant to ask you this last week. Remove the South Carolina game. Do you see the what you call it being any tougher of a stretch, the playoffs, starting with the SEC championship game, then starting with Georgia and going from there? Than the 4 games last week?
No, I think you mean like do I look at the next 4 games as tougher than before?
No. The playoff run. If
Yeah.
Alabama were to make it to the SEC championship game, is it really is Alabama? Let me ask you this: is Alabama the one team that has shown that they can make a 4-game run that would be equivalent to what the playoffs will be?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think that there's any team that's had 4 games like this that could be like quote unquote playoff caliber games, because all the teams that they've beaten are either going to make the playoffs or in playoff contention, right? Like Georgia's going to be in, looks like Vandy's going to be in, Missouri is kind of on the outside looking in, same with Tennessee. And South Carolina came into the year as a playoff contender. Obviously, it didn't play out like that, but they had some playoff projections as well. So they've played, 5 teams that are either in the mix, were projected to be in the mix, or, kind of on the outside looking in. So, they have the best resume in the country right now. And this is a much-needed buy. And, the last 4 games look a lot more manageable today than maybe they did 6-7 weeks ago.
Yeah, and Missouri, I hate it for their quarterback. I think Missouri may win that game if they don't lose their starting quarterback. So the freshman came in and gave a valiant effort, but I'm gonna tell you, I still struggle. I just want you to know, I still struggle with saying top 10 Vandy and Indiana, but I'm gonna finally give them their due. Okay, they're a good football team this year. Difference between teams and programs. We'll see what they do. What's name may be building the program at Indiana. We just have to see what they do when they get into the playoffs. But anyway, back to Alabama. We got a couple of callers that want to get in with you. Robert from Mobile, you're in on the Empowerment Leadership and People Solutions Hotline with Kenneth Smith III and Martin Houston. So what's on your mind, sir?
Hey, man, I guess Pat was a little afraid you were a little slow on the draw with his joke there.
You what now?
Pat was a little afraid that you were a little slow on the draw getting his joke earlier.
Oh,
I got it right away, Pat.
he thought I was slow. I knew exactly what he meant. I just said it was a dad joke.
I know. Hey, this is definitely the most impressive season I think I've ever seen with Alabama. As in teams with our team isn't the best Alabama team, and the competition is, as a result, it's gotten better, and the gap is so narrow.
Yes, it is.
To do this week in and week out when the talent gap is so narrow is really impressive. Normally, if we could Nick Saban run schedule like this, because Vanderbilt wouldn't be any good, South Carolina wouldn't be any good. We'd be so much more talented than they are. It's practically like having a bye week during those weeks because we beat them so bad. That's not the case anymore. Right. And to doing this, it's a real gauntlet. And I think, once again, it's a gauntlet that the Ohio State and teams like that could never run if they had the same schedule. And if you get Indiana Vanderbilt schedule, you really think they run it as well as Vanderbilt has?
Hey, Kennington, Robert, let me ask you this. Is South Carolina 8-0 or 7-1 with Indiana's schedule?
Probably.
South Carolina? Oh, yeah, 7-1.
At least
they may have lost to Oregon at home.
At the worst, they'd be 6-2. I'll throw another just you never know lost in there. But yeah, 6-2 at the worst. Look at that. The schedule.
Go ahead, Robert.
Oh yeah, but it's been this has really been a successful season for the board. To overcome like what he has been able to overcome with the lows. Win or lose the SEC championship game, this has been a successful season. This has been an improvement in this season, which is what we were looking for really. This coming in this season, just improve, man. Because last year was getting so bad, we just needed improvement. And when that first game came in, I really still believe that was last year. Florida State game was last year. Somebody had to convince me it wasn't. when that first game came in, we were like, it's more the same, but he managed to flip the script. And this was one of the last scripts left to flip. All right, you got a middle of the road team on the road, an hostile environment, double-digit favorite. You're supposed to win, but so far you hadn't done that. Can you win this one? And when it came off the rails, and it did, they were able to right the ship, like Kennedy said before. Kennedy said last year this would have been a loss, and probably would have lost by double digits. This year, but we turned it around. We found a way to win. So that's definitely a step in the right direction. Oh, one more thing before I go. Brian Kelly, what kind of an accent you think he's going to have in his next job? If he goes out west, he's going to have a cowboy accent, you think?
Well, hey, listen, and Kennedy, I'd love to get your response. Thanks, Robert. Hey, Brian Kelly, Penn State and LSU should have just swapped coaches.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Seriously. I think Brian Kelly would potentially do well at Penn State. I think from the beginning, people there is something to the whole coming in and fitting in the South thing, because we saw Brian Kelly absolutely do not do that at LSU. And I feel like that played a part in it. Obviously winning can translate anywhere, but Brian Kelly made the playoff in the 4th team there in Notre Dame multiple times. He can coach. It just wasn't the right fit at LSU.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm being funny, Kennington, but I'm serious.
Yeah.
Literally, I mean, you think about what's his name did at Vanderbilt. He did not to the level that Clark Lee is doing it, but what James Franklin did at Vanderbilt, making them relevant, and you had to show up to play for those few years he was there, or you would get upset, is on par with what's the name is doing in the transfer portal, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And he may be a great fit at LSU. I was being funny because they both paid like $50 million to get rid of coaches that probably are better fits at the other schools, not necessarily the guy they want. But anyway, you got
the funny part about it. James Franklin way outperformed Brian Kelly too. That's the funny part about it.
Do what now? Oh yeah,
I was James Franklin way outperformed Brian Kelly too at their respective schools. That's the funny part about it.
Yeah. Well, what's his name? James Franklin took over Penn State in the toilet.
Right.
And I don't know that when I think of recruiting beds, I don't think State College. When I think of recruiting bed in the South, I think Baton Rouge. Louisiana has their own set of players. Then you're right next door to Texas and right next door to Florida. I mean,
right.
And not far from Georgia. LSU has one of the best reaches within a close distance as any small college, and they're the only school. They're the big dog in town.
Right.
So anyway, I think in Arkansas, Petrino probably saved Hugh Freeze's job. Did you see the end of that game?
I did.
How can you have 4 turnovers after being up 5 points with the ball? I mean, you can't make a script. Yeah. What's that?
No, I was just speechless, honestly.
I was like, Hugh Freeze about to get fired. And then Arkansas proceeded to turn the ball over 4 consecutive times, 3 in a row, either giving up a score or in scoring range. But anyway, I don't know if that's a win for Auburn or not. So we'll talk about that. We're going to get on the other side, Kennedy. We'll get your good, your bad, the ugly.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, happy Monday morning to you. We're getting off to a treacherous start right now. 2059 closed down on the eastbound lanes between Skyland Boulevard and Buttermilk Road. Now, this is due to a serious accident. What you can do is hop on University Boulevard as an alternate. And also do watch out for this very heavy rain we do have in the area, and that's creating some pretty hazardous driving conditions. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
The Tide Tailgate Show is presented by Pearl River Resort in Choctaw, Mississippi. Online at pearlriverresort.com and by Tuscaloosa Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Online at tuscaloosacdjr.com and by Two Dimes. Online at twodimes.club and by Druid City Regional Medical Center, dchsystem.com.
With Taco Casa, it's not really fast food because it's made fresh every day in the store. The quality hasn't changed. The consistency hasn't changed because we haven't changed anything in the food. It's made fresh every morning in every restaurant. I think buzzwords in today's food industry are locally sourced and high quality ingredients. We want to say, that sounds great. We've been doing that since 1974. Under the biggest cactus in town, Taco Casa.
The Tide Tailgate Show is always on just before the Crimson Tide Sports Network live broadcast on 95.3 The Bear and Sports Radio Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC and online at 953thebear.com and Tide 100.9.com. Game day traffic reports to get you to Bryant-Denny Stadium. Live reports from our Bama beat reporter, Wyatt Fulton. Game day picks from the top games. And this year, special insight each week. The Tide Tailgate Show originates live from Grandstand in Tuscaloosa's Timerson Square. Come sip beverages or grab a bite before or after the game. The Tide Tailgate Show is presented by Pearl River Resort, DCH Regional Medical Center, Two Dimes Tuscaloosa, and Tuscaloosa Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
Alabama football is back, and there's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your Crimson Tide. Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Proud partner of the Crimson Tide. Sold in stadium and at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
I didn't notice. Yeah, I didn't notice.
Well, that's the answer to that. With Deontay Lawson, just what can you say about him making that play? Obviously, a guy who's been through a lot of it last year.
Man, I'm so proud of that guy, and
he's getting better too. He's, I don't even know what the number of months out from last year, but he's getting better. In practice, you can see it, and there's just things that he's working so hard to get his body right, and it's awesome to see him come through. And just the leadership piece, it's so important to have him out there. I thought, from a leadership standpoint, our TK raised his game, not just on the field, but off the field. Those guys are the ones that understand what this fight is all about. And, we got a lot of new faces still, and 30-some guys probably that were new this year, 35 probably that came in last year. And so, there's a lot of roster turnover. And so understanding the circumstances and what you're coming into, you got to really rely on those guys that have been through it. And those are two workhorses that I'm super proud of. I'm glad we got this moment for them.
Let's go to Katie. Kennington, comment on that. There's so much there. The first part of that was about the fans. He was asked, did he see the fans rush down to the field? But talking about Lawson and TK, Tim Keenan, and their leadership on this field, and the fact that the reality of it is, I keep asking the question, does this team have more in the tank? I think those two by themselves add a yes, lend a yes to that, just because I don't think either one of them is fully 100% yet. So your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I think that there is still more for those players to do. Both of them kind of have slow starts to the season. It feels like they're kind of coming into their own. And I think that is a great sign for this defense, because the defense, for the most part this year, I guess in most people's eyes, has been like, okay, but they've actually performed pretty well in this last 5-week stretch. I mean, you think about what this stretch looked like before the season started, and you look at what the defense has been able to do in each of these weeks, 4 straight rating games, and another team in South Carolina that was ranked to start the season. They've given up 21, 14, 24, 20, 22. I mean, that's about as good as you're going to get against ranked opponents. They're a top 20 scoring defense, and the thought that their 2 senior leaders are just now kind of coming into their own. Alabama's defense probably could be like a top 15, borderline top 10 defense by the end of the regular season if everything kind of continues to progress.
And they're playing behind an extremely aggressive offense that has put them in situations that could easily have resulted in, over the last 5 weeks, another, 50, 60 points if this team doesn't play great team football. William from Pennsylvania, you're in on the Empowerment Leadership and People Solutions Hotline with Martin and Kennington. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Martin. Good morning, Kennington. I have my good, my bad, my ugly. I think the good is the culture of Alabama is now showing up. We're seeing games where they could easily lose, and they're pulling together and they're winning. And I think that's going to really help during Kalen DeBoer's entire tenure here. That being said, the bad is I still don't believe that defensive scheme works in the SEC. I would love to see 2 Overtons or 2 Smiths or 2 Keenans on that front line. We're seeing guys like the Lenoris Sellers running through that 3-man front, and they're hitting the linebackers, and they're knocking the linebackers over and dragging them for 5 or 6 yards, and are keeping our offense off the field. And then the ugly to me is that offensive line. And I listen to Ryan Fowler every day say that we're juggling guys in there because we're building up our reserves, we're building up our depth. I don't think that's the case. I think the case is the offensive line is terrible. We're trying to find 5 guys that can play well together because we are not running the ball. That's my good, bad, and ugly, guys. What do you think?
Kenneth, I'll let you respond first.
Yeah, I would agree with a lot of that. I would say my ugly was also, I was going to say pass protection for the ugly, because, there were some moments where Daniel Hill was complicit in some of those things as well. So it wasn't just the offensive line. It was like everybody as a whole protecting Todd Simpson. There were lapses. But I would agree mostly with what he said. I think, what he said about the good kind of correlates to what I was going to say. He said culture. My good was going to be fourth quarter and just kind of how they kind of turned it on late. But I think the culture of this program is in a really good spot. And I think it cannot be understated or go unnoticed that this team is a team that everybody fully bought into what DeBoer and the staff was trying to do. Anybody that was still on the fence could have left last year, winter or spring. They had very few departures. So I think everybody's kind of bought in and everybody's kind of like steering in the right direction. So I would agree with mostly what he said, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm standing on my vote up right now.
Yeah, and I will say I'm not a big fan of the defensive line, the three, but I think that he actually is doing more of what you're talking about, William. It's just that the base is going to be his 3-3-5. But I do think he's getting a couple more big guys out there. In the running plays is not the scheme that they're having success on. It's actually execution, William. Our guys are getting out of the running lane. Like that one time where Sellers just went up the middle, they actually had a guy coming, and instead of him taking on the hole, he took on a shoulder, and that allowed him to be turned. So, but I do agree. You like me. I would love to see, more 4-3 type of play. As far as the O-line, I do think it's a both and. I think they do have a lot of guys, William, and unfortunately in this day and age, I think they're having to play multiple guys so that they don't lose guys. That makes sense. It's literally these guys are good enough to play. And our run game isn't all blocking. Our running backs do not know how to press the hole and bounce, William. There are plays where we run up in there. Watch other running backs, William, play. And don't get me wrong, we're not a great run blocking team at all. And it doesn't make sense with the size we have. But I also, there have been numerous times where we went up to the line. If you just bounce it, if you just press the hole, draw everybody in, and then bounce, it is wide open. And that's vision. And I don't know that we have great vision right now in our backfield. So,
and I'll just add this one last thing on the building depth part. It's not an ideal situation, but Bama kind of has to play these guys to build depth because they are one injury away anywhere on that offensive line from being in a really tough spot. And if you look at how some of these guys have been playing in this rotation, imagine what they would have looked like if they had never played and then somebody gets hurt and that's their first game action. So they kind of have to like develop it as they go because they've been relatively healthy.
Right.
They've had more injuries in the last like 2 seasons on the offensive line this year for sure. So if they're, fingers crossed that they can stay healthy through the end of the season, but if that's not the case, they're going to need somebody in there that's at least played. So I think that also kind of factors into the conversation as well.
Closing thoughts, William, before I let you go.
Well, I think I agree with what you guys are saying 100%. I think one silver lining is this offensive line is talented. I mean, guys like Carroll, guys like Proctor, they're all talented guys. So there is a chance as these games are making them battle tested that as we get towards the end of the season and hopefully an SEC championship game and hopefully some deep playoff runs, that this line will actually get better. And like Kennington said, if you can rotate them and keep them rested and healthy, that's going to be a huge plus for us.
William, and I'll give you this and the rest of our listening audience. The 5-star recruits in offensive line, which Alabama's getting 4 and 5 star. You know why they get that 4 and 5 star rating? Because they go to these 7-on-7 camps, and what do there? They pass block. They don't run block. So we're not getting great run blockers. If you're going to get some great run blockers, you better find some good old snot-nosed guys that actually play some run that are athletic. You cannot go with the recruiting services top guys. I think Carroll is probably legitimately a guard and will be dominant, but he's having to play tackle as well, which puts him more out there on an island. So it's an interesting thing, but I think that Alabama and this coaching staff, with what they have, they've done an unbelievable job. Thanks for that insight, William. Appreciate you, man, from up in Pennsylvania. All right, we'll be back on the other side to put the finishing touches on this edition of the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. We got Kenneth Smith III in with us today.
Coming up on The Game with Ryan Fowler.
Coming up on the Monday edition of The Game, we're going to recap Alabama, South Carolina. We'll do it with the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good is sponsored by DanielMooreArt.com, and we'll take your phone calls. We'll talk to Drew DeArmond. We'll talk to Martin Houston, all starting at 2 p.m. on the Monday edition of The Game on Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
The longest running sports program in Tuscaloosa. The Game with Ryan Fowler. Weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, we got some nasty weather out there, and it's creating nasty traffic conditions. If you're traveling on 2059, you got a road blockage on the eastbound lane between Skyland Boulevard and Buttermilk Road. Now, this is due to an overturned vehicle that happened earlier this morning. I don't see where you're extremely backed up here. As a matter of fact, I don't see any backups at all, but you do want to be aware of the wreckage. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by Aleve. Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches and pains hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
Taco Casa, quality, taste, and value under the biggest cactus in town. They've been doing it the right way each and every day for 50 years and counting. If you're looking for a great option for lunch and or dinner, then you need to check out Taco Casa. Taco Casa, and while you're there, don't forget to get a big glass of that sweet tea. Visit them online at tacocasa.com. That's tacocasa.com. Quality, taste, and value on the biggest cactus in town. That's Taco Casa, tacocasa.com.
Your friends may drive a new car for under $35,000, but is it a Mercedes-Benz? Level up to luxury at Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa. Drive a 2025 GLA 250 without the luxury price, just $33,988 for as low as $479 a month. A Mercedes-Benz is within your reach. A GLA for just $33,988. Get to Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa before your friends do. On select models with approved credit while supplies last. Stock number L2395. Taxes and fees extra. See dealer for details.
Get your football weekend started early with Fridays at the Free. I'm Gary Harris, and I'll broadcast my show live from Innisfree Irish Pub every Alabama game weekend from 9 to 11 a.m. on Friday mornings. So we'll get the jump on everybody else, and you'll be ready to start the weekend as soon as Innisfree opens at 11 a.m. With 2 bars, TVs everywhere, and outdoor seating as well, there's only one Innisfree Irish Pub. Often imitated but never duplicated. Fridays at the Free with me, Gary Harris, this fall at Innisfree Irish Pub, 1925 University Boulevard in Tuscaloosa.
Looking for the ultimate bingo experience?
Bingo!
Come play at Bama Entertainment. They've expanded into 2 buildings with more games and even more ways to win. Join them Monday through Thursday for daily match play, where everyone has a shot at being a winner. Then keep the fun going on the weekends with special promotions, the big wheel, and live entertainment. Where else can you find odds this good? Only at exit 45 of I-2059, where the excitement never stops and the odds are always in your favor. Bama Entertainment.
95.3 The Bear and Sports Radio Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC are partnering with Baumhauer's Victory Grill this season to put you in the best seats in the house at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Sign up online at 953thebear.com, on the app, or the Tide 100.9 app. Each week, we'll pick a winner for a pair of tickets to an Alabama home football game. Baumhauer's Victory Grill, with 2 locations in Tuscaloosa, Harper Lee Drive, and Baumhauer South on Courtney Drive. Let Baumhauer's Victory Grill put you in the best seats in the house.
Oh my God!
With 95.3 The Bear and Sports Radio Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC. Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston.
Welcome back to the 2-minute warning, the Harvest Church 2-minute warning, where we love God, love people. Glad to have you back in the program with us. Want to remind you, check us out at Harvest Church. You love God, love people. We'd love to have you join us on Sundays. And want to remind all of you out there listening, bring your kids by. We're having our fall festival this Wednesday, 6 o'clock. We will kick things off. Great time, great atmosphere. Come out, bring the kids, bring yourself. You'll enjoy the festivities. That's at Harvest Church, located out on Highway 82 in Coker. Just for the Coker Mall, that's the Dollar General up on the hill. Church with the big blue sign. Harvest Church, where we love God, love people. All right, Kennington, we got Joy, so let's get Joy in real quick. Then I'll get your final thoughts on this game and what you're up to out of the bye week. Joy, you're in on the Empowerment Leadership and People Solutions Hotline with Martin and Kennington. What's on your mind?
Yes, on the punt where the ball hit Mbakwe, and I'm asking you to tell me, rules have changed, I know. How many yards does a defensive player get to have his hands on the back of the player?
Well, none, but
well, if you watch the replay, defender has his hands on Mbakwe's back for 4 to 5 yards before the ball hit him.
Yeah, and Lloyd Townsend was also asking about that rule and whether it should be reviewed. Kennington, I don't know if the play can be reviewed or not, but they definitely missed him being blocked into him and him being blocked in the back.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a rough year for SEC officiating. We'll just leave it at that.
And it's getting worse. That's the crazy part. And I don't think that putting the guy on when you haven't done anything from a suspension standpoint, and then you permanently get rid of him, ban him. I'm like, well, you should have been holding him accountable before he got to that point. But anyway, that's my thoughts. But thanks, Joey. It was just another missed call, Joey, by the SEC, and it almost cost Alabama and the SEC, Kennington.
Right. Yeah. I mean, at this point, it's like I feel like every team has one legitimate game-altering grievance against the league. I haven't watched every single game across all the leagues, but pretty much every team can say this call could have cost us a game or did cost us a game at some point this year.
Yeah, especially if you're Auburn. I guess if you get a bad call, you're still supposed to keep playing just for the rest of college football. I mean, I understand that was a really bad call down against Georgia in the Auburn people's opinion. I don't necessarily think it was a bad call. But look what Alabama did after they had that game-changing moment. They were down on the road in the fourth quarter, and they came back and won the game. That's the difference. Kennington, just your closing thoughts, man. Good, bad, ugly, wherever you want to go. Anything you want to say about college football and the craziness that's happening out there and these coaches getting fired, et cetera?
Yeah. Kalen DeBoer was kind of in the same situation several weeks ago. His seat was on the fire. There were articles coming out and saying if he doesn't turn it around, he was going to face the same fate or be close to it as Brian Kelly and James Franklin and some others. But shout out to the team for continuing to just find ways to win. It's not always pretty, it's not always perfect, but there's still W's at the end of the day. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they finish the season out.
Kennington, let me ask you really quick. We're talking about, Alabama. Did you see the recruiting? I don't know if they were recruiting or not. Did you see the Kalen DeBoer, Russell interaction at the end of the game?
Yeah.
What you thought?
Yeah. I guess he's just keeping them engaged and letting Keelan know, like, hey, look, next year this could be you, gonna be you, whatever he said to him. But you got to keep him close because that tamper button is always close by.
That's crazy, isn't it? Hey, real quick, do we have both of these guys, our coordinators, next year, or do we lose both?
I'm going to say at least one goes. I don't know who it's going to be, but the way that this coaching carousel is shaping up, I don't think that there's any way they can keep the staff intact. So I'm going to say at least one.
Does Saban and Alex Morton end up at LSU? I'm just kidding. as a coach in waiting.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Full circle moment. We can talk about that more next week. But you heard it here first. that Nick Saban
Alex Mortensen from UAB will be the offensive coordinator for Nick Saban at LSU for a 2 or 3 year run. Just having fun. Hey, man, thanks. That's Kennedy Smith. Thanks to all the Maniacs. Thanks to all the callers. Thanks to Asian pressing all the right buttons. I'm Martin Houston. We'll be back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel with DC Capstone Report. Remember this, trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Roll Tide, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.